We know they don't have a login cycle, so we're going to go in with these Rascals, and I think they're going to struggle to defend this. And I can defend easily with the late log here. And you can see we actually take their entire tower. And that's up, everybody. Durkee here, and today I'm going to be playing what is absolutely the best bait style deck in the meta right now. It's a pretty tough meta for log bait right now, so I was scouring Royale API for some awesome decks, and this is what I found. Currently, the number 2 ranked player in the entire world is running this bait deck. And on top of that, I was looking at the number 1 bait player in the world, Riley, to see what deck he was playing. He was also running this deck. So this is definitely a really good deck. One thing that will take getting used to is that you do not have a building, nor do you have a big spell. So this deck plays a little different. It's a lot of sack and attack. You can't always defend the big pushes, so you want to make sure that you're just giving more damage than you're receiving. So we're going to go ahead and hop into some games here. I'll give you some tips and tricks for playing this deck. Before we do that, if you could consider commenting, liking the video, or dropping a subscription to the channel. It's completely free for you, but it does help me immensely, so I appreciate that, and let's get into some games. Into our first game here, and like I mentioned, this deck has a really powerful offense, but somewhat of an untraditional defense. You don't have a building, so you can't always prevent damage to your tower, like if they're running a beatdown deck or a hog rider deck, so you want to make sure that you are adequately punishing if you are taking a lot of damage. So I'm going to Dark Goblin here, spacing everything out so it's difficult for them to spell everything. Rascal Girl on the right is going to get a little bit of chip damage. That Dark Goblin's going in. I'm going to go ahead and log, just make sure we take no damage from the Witch. Nice, and we bait out the log there, so I'm going to Goblin Gang real low. And not sure what type of deck this person's running. We're somewhat early into a grand challenge, so the decks might be a little unpredictable here. A little slow on my reactions to that barrel, but we only take 2 shots, so I don't think it's a problem. This deck is really good for split lane pressure. You want to bait out their best responses and then adequately punish. So we know they don't have a login cycle, so we're going to go in with these Rascals, and I think they're going to struggle to defend this. And I can defend easily with the late log here. And you can see we actually take their entire tower. And that's what I'm talking about is, in the current state of bait right now, everyone usually has a log or a bowler or arrows. And once you bait out that spell, it's really easy to get a punish. So, really great start. Okay, Knight just to block this tower. And at this point, we just needed to defend for another minute and 25 seconds. So, that's probably going to be a good game. So, I'll go ahead and cut to the end, and then we'll get into the next one. Into our next match here. Something else that I didn't mention about this deck is we are running the Evo Knight, which I think is still one of the best evolutions. We didn't get to show it in the previous match because we won kind of quickly, but really good. Okay, it's going to be Royal Hogs. I'm going to do Rascals, and they should defend both lanes fairly well. Like I said, we're going to take some damage, and we're going to hope that we can dish out some damage as well. This will be a good example of me defending without having a building. I kind of mentioned this early on. It's like, how do you defend certain win conditions when you don't have a building? So they probably have a log and a delivery, so not great for us because they do have a lot of answers. But like I said, we're going to bait those out and see if we can respond properly. Well played to them on that.
Let's go.
Looks like it's going to be Royal Hogs, Archer Queen, Delivery, that kind of deck. No, I'm not going to do that. He might go for an Earthquake here. Okay, he's probably gonna, yeah, there's the Queen. Good block by us. It's gonna force out the ability, and that Goblin Gang on the left is gonna get a lot of damage. Beautiful. Princess down low here. And now we've squeaked into the lead. And this is so interesting because they have so many answers for bait. They actually have triple spell. They have log, Royal Delivery, and Earthquake. So you would think it's a really good matchup for them. In fact, this deck would destroy a normal style of bait deck, but we're actually in a pretty good spot here. So he just used his skeleton, so I'm going to pressure in the opposite lane. He doesn't have anything cheap for this. I was going to say he had to spend 4 elixirs, so that's perfect. Okay. Rascal's log here will do a pretty good job. They can Earthquake here if they choose to. They opt not to. So we definitely spent a lot there. We spent 7 on 5, but we'll have a little bit of a counter push. The most likely just Royal Delivery on it. Yeah, there it is. So we're just going to let it go. I'm going to cycle my Knight in the back. I want to get to my Evo Knight. It's a really good at response to the Queen. Okay. There is the Earthquake. So we're going to go like this, try and bait out their log, and then we're going to see if we can punish with Wall Breakers. We're going to see if we can pre-log the Skeleton Ice Spirit. You don't get it, unfortunately, but that's alright. Okay. Again, we're going to try and get some nice split lane pressure here. So we have the princess is on the queen. He has to... Okay, very, very good. He drops the delivery, has to log late. And we were so close to having our queen survive that interaction, but Evil Knight is actually tanking right now. He's really low on elixir. His cycle is so awkward to defend in that situation, right? We just had so much spam down on both sides, and they're not used to being able to... or struggling to defend like that. So I'm going to log like that. It's going to take down the Evo Skeletons, and it's also going to take the tower. So what was supposed to be a horrible matchup for bait ended up being a pretty good one. So that's a good game. We'll see you in the next one. Into our next match here. I will say that, similar to normal bait, that certain matchups are really hard, like Hog Rider, Hog Firecracker is still a hard deck, but it does feel winnable at the very least, which is nice. We're going to Rascals low here for this flying machine. And I don't want to spend any more spam. Yeah, exactly. I was nervous about dropping like a Goblin Gang because they have the arrows usually. So I'm going to split lane pressure here because they spent a lot on that push. Okay. They can probably get down something on the left. Okay. They're low on elixir. I don't know if they have anything that they can afford to take these down. So that's great. We're going to get a ton of damage. So again, we're up against triple spell, it looks like. So we're going to have to do what we can to bait out all of their spells. Bar Barrel, arrows, and... was it Fireball? Anyways, this is a horrible matchup for log bait most of the time, but we definitely have a fighting chance. We just want to make sure we space out everything, and we don't want to give them a ton of spell value. So we're going to Rascals off to the side here. And Knight really low. Okay, he does take the arrows on the Rascal, so Dark Goblin here is going to help out. He's going to take out that flying machine. Nice. We actually forced out the Bar Barrel, so at this point in time, they do not have arrows, and they do not have Bar Barrel, so they're going to take some damage on one of the sides. And it looks like they opt to eat that on the right side, which I'm completely fine with. We now have the option of going into either lane. They literally had nothing in their hand that they could play for that, so perfect for us. So here's the thing. They still don't have Bar Barrel. So let's see if we can force out arrows. Nice. We're actually going to get a ton of damage there. And then we're going to get a Rascals down here. And then a super late Evolution Knight. And that's a really good defense. Perfect. Like I said, this deck is really, really great with split lane pressure. So I'm going to see if we can force out arrows or something on that side. Awesome. We force out the building. Then I'm just going to reset. I don't want to be too aggressive. We forced out the Bar Barrel. He should have the arrows on defense. No, he saves it for offense. And I don't know if that was the right choice, to be completely honest, because he ate a ton of damage. Once that locks on, I'm going to go for my Dark Goblin. And then we're going to Wall Breakers behind this. I know it seems aggressive, but it should force out a response. There it is. Just like I said. Rascal's up high here. That big boy's going to tank a lot of damage. Misses the Fireball, no surprise. And we're pretty close to being in spell cycle range. Dark Goblin spaced out from the Princess, so we can't hit everything with arrows. He activates the King Tower, no surprise there. What else would we expect? Okay, and Log does 58 at Grand Challenge level. So we're going to go ahead and cycle one Log on this side. Then we're going to Knight. Play this down low. Then watch our damage here. We need to be careful. Okay, gonna try and force out some elixir in the middle. Okay. I don't believe they have arrows in cycle, so hopefully they'll have to fireball this. This is the one thing about this deck, oh, they do have arrows, is you don't necessarily have a large spell, so you need to do a lot of game management. If they give me a log value, I'm going to go ahead and cycle a log. Okay, there it is. I will take that 100%. Okay. Nice. He misses. No surprise. And that's a good game. So pretty tough matchup, but we were able to clutch up. Good game. See you in the next one. Into our next game here. Like I mentioned before, defending can sometimes be tricky in certain matchups. You do have a lot of answers, but you also have a lot of weaknesses. Split Rascals here will clean everything up. We did overspend a little bit to defend that, but I think it's okay. Looks like they might even be running the same match. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a mirror. It's not quite a mirror, but it's similar. Dark Goblin's going to get a lot of value here unless they go for a spell. They opt not to. Instead, they do the log. Not a horrible play. I'm going to pressure here. Let's see if they have the delivery or something, a building. Dark Prince here. Wall breakers maybe? Beautiful. Wall breakers still get the connection. The best part is that actually took out the entire Dark Prince and they still don't have a log and cycle. So good on them to spot the barrel in the back, but that's a free princess for us. And we're looking good. It's not a mirror match. Similar spam matchup. Everyone loves to run the Royal Recruits. I'm not the biggest fan of that card, so we're excluding that from our deck. Alright. I'm going to drop my knight in the back. I still don't know what their big spell is. If they do choose to rocket it, it's not the end of the world. Goblin Gang, only one shot from the princess. Okay, they go for the log. So I'm going to think of an optimal punish here. Okay. We're going to go all in on this other side. Okay, those rascals should get a lot of damage on the tower. They do, in fact, lock onto the tower. Then we're going to Wall Breakers Kite this over and save our log if we can. Then log last second here. Nice. And if you look at how much damage we got, we pretty much evened up the damage on both sides. But if you look at how much damage we got to the right tower, it's way better. So I'm going to take my princess shot here. Chill. We don't have a big spell, so this is absolutely still losable. Definitely one of the weaknesses of this deck. Okay. Need to be careful about these Evo recruits. Remember to spread out our troops. I probably will take a log here. Pressure a little bit as well. That Evo Knight is going to carry this defense, absolutely. As well as the large Rascal Boy. And we got a lot of barrel damage. That was a good time to go in. Takes the log on the Rascal Girls, but he misses a lot of them. So you can see we're starting to kind of overwhelm them with the spam, which is awesome. I'm going to go like this. Okay. And chill. You're kind of playing reactively to like when they play their own log. Good Rascal Girl. Log, I don't know how he's going to defend that right side, to be completely honest. And it looks like they won't be able to, so that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent, but we clutched up. Sweet. In our next game here. Haven't seen like a beatdown style deck yet or anything too crazy. I'm just going to apply a little bit of pressure. This will prevent any damage. Looks like it might be 2.6. That would be a very, very interesting matchup. Kind of a hard matchup as well, if I'm being honest. So he just used his log. I'm going to Wall Breaker Goblin Barrel because I think he's going to cannon in the middle, and this will kind of tank for the barrel for a little while. Yeah, you can see why I did that, because if you look on the left, we'd basically take a third of his tower because their Princess Tower was targeting our Wall Breakers. So, good little tip there. I will admit it is going to be kind of difficult for us to get damage in this matchup. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of scary. It's going to be hard for us to defend. Queen's going to walk. Okay, he goes for the pre-log. Not the best pre-log, to be honest. Goblin Gang in the middle here is going to help with everything, and then I'm going to also pressure while defending. Probably force out something. Ice Spirit Skeletons, I would imagine. Oh, Ice Spirit doesn't fully defend that. Awesome. And we have a really, really great start. Scary thing about this deck is you're kind of a glass cannon. Like, you can seriously defend, or you can attack very well, but your defense is not the strongest. Okay. We need to defend this very, very carefully. Like I said, we're going to stack a lot of damage here. Okay, they do go for the log. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pressure with this. Hopefully get a lot of damage. Giant Skeleton's not going to connect. Nice, we do get a ton of damage. Hopefully they can't afford the cannon right away. They might get it down last second. Okay, but they're very low on elixir. They shouldn't have any cheap elixir responses for this princess. Maybe a queen last minute, but we have our Evo Knight. Perfect. Okay, so we're not threatened by that side. We're ready for a hog. If he pops the ability, it gets no value against the Evo Knight. He's going to say, if he's a smart player, he won't pop the ability, so that's very well played. Rascal's in the opposite lane, and I want to force out his log on defense. I don't want him to be able to pressure with the hog and log. Okay, that's perfect. Dark Goblin to help out and DPS this down, and I'm okay right now. I'm unsettled, though, if I'm being completely honest. Very losable still. We don't have the best defense for a Hog Rider. That Princess is helping out a ton, or it was helping out a ton. Okay. The fact that his queen has been alive for that long is frustrating for me. We defend okay, though. Nice, force out that. You can't afford the log right away. Oh, he just gets it down. Oh, I thought Princess was going to splash on the tower. Okay. Can we block something here? We do get the queen. Might force out an ability. We do force out an ability. That's good with me. I'm going to start cycling a log here. Okay. Queen's going to be off the board. Going to pressure. Nice. Maybe a log. Nope. Oh, he messed up the cannon. Okay, can't get the log down right away because he had to play the giant skeleton. Princess splashes on the tower, and that's 2 log range. So as long as we don't choke on defense, we should be okay. We need to spread out everything in case he goes in. Most likely when he goes in with the Hog Rider. Rascal Boy's going to do his best. We're pressuring so he can't. Okay, he does go for the pre-log. He should be able to defend the barrel, so that's going to be a good game. Pretty tough matchup, but I'm happy with how we played, so great game. See you in the next one. I seriously, like, this deck is a lot of fun. It's the most fun I've had playing like a bait style deck in a really long time. And you have to be really creative with how you play, I would say. Like, there's a lot of different types of punishes. So we're up 1 elixir after that interaction. Okay. I'll drop my Rascals here. And then I don't have another great defense for that Hog Rider, unfortunately. So we're going to take a lot of damage, like I said, and hope that we can reciprocate some of that damage. That's kind of the style of deck this is hopefully you can dish it and you can take it. Really well defended by my opponent, honestly. Very well defended. So that was an example of like a losing interaction. We didn't get as much damage as we would have hoped. I'm going to log here before he pops the ability. Perfect. He wasted that ability, so that was awesome. Gonna try and force out. That's not gonna full counter, so that's gonna be a 1 wall breaker hit. A lot of people don't know that interaction, that it doesn't fully counter. Okay. I'm at the mercy of their spells here. Yeah. Like I said, one of the tougher matchups is against Hog. Okay. Yeah, just lets it go. That's definitely the proper play. I'm gonna pressure in the opposite lane. Probably giant skeleton or queen on this. Ooh, cannon. 2 shots. Ooh, nope. Well played. I do want to get my knight involved here. Haven't yet played a knight. An Evo Knight, really good against the queen, so I'm fine cycling this. It'll also act as a barrier against a Hog Rider. Goblin Barrel on the back. Interesting, they just kind of eat it. Rascals here. Here, getting ready for a hog, and then we can Dark Goblin as well to support. Okay, I'm going to pressure because they do go for that log. And I'm going to protect my Dark Goblin here. You play our Goblin Gang off to the side so it doesn't immediately die to that Earthquake. And you can see we actually take no hog hits, which is awesome. Okay, going to pressure here a little bit. It's kind of like you need to have a good balance of pressure and defense. Okay. That cannon is making my life difficult. Okay. I'd like to take no hits here. We do. Goblin Bear. We have a nice push on both sides. Once that log comes down. Oh, he logs on that side. That's interesting. That's going to be a ton of damage. And that Evo Knight is going to go in. He spent on that side, but what about the right side? Oh, he gets the log down. Well played. Evo Knight's still going to go in, though. Evo Knight ends up taking his entire tower. Oh, my gosh. That's what I'm talking about. You need to get your Evo Knight involved in this deck. That wouldn't have happened if I didn't cycle it in the back for no reason. So, good game. Really hard matchup. We'll see you in the next one. All right. Into our next match here. I can't emphasize, like, how god-awful bait is in the meta, but this deck makes it feel like, it gives me hope. It makes it feel like there's a chance. Interesting, he just eats both of those wall breakers. He's probably running a pretty heavy deck. Yeah. Okay. Kind of looks like E-Giant. E-Giant is probably the single worst matchup in the game for this deck. You just don't have, yeah, I would say you don't have a building to defend, and they can just NATO everything in, and you just lose. I'm gonna pressure here. Yeah, there's the NATO, like I said, and we're gonna give some damage, but we're probably gonna take more damage than we give. But that's what you got to do. You got to try and trade paint. And actually, we actually give more damage than we take. So we arguably got the hardest matchup. We have a good start, but can we hold on? I don't know. It gets really tough to defend. Once they NATO in your Dark Goblin, it's done. I'd say the one trick I have is when you're going up against E-Giant is don't play all of your DPS troops at once. Like play one, play your Dark Goblin, make them NATO it in, and then drop your other one. So then they have to spend a NATO and a Lightning, but even then it's just not great. So I'm going to log here. My Princess should take care of that Archer. And I'm going to pressure a little bit. I want him to have to spend, right? Okay, that's funny. Nice. That's exactly what I wanted the little prince to target. Nice. Awesome, awesome, awesome. He does that. I'm going to try and get some damage. I mean, I have to get something. It might be a 2-tower game. Well defended, if I'm being completely honest. But that Rascal Girl is going in. I'm going to Dark Goblin early and try and force out a NATO. Beautiful. And then I'm also going to continue to pressure because, like I said, I don't know if I can defend. I mean, I most likely can't defend very well. Okay, we're going to time this log as best as we can. And at this point, I'm very much considering sacking my tower. Like I said, I can't defend. So I'm going to go ahead and take their tower. And now, again, we need to tiptoe of, can we pressure properly, but still defend? That's what we're going to make sure that we do. We try to do, rather. Evil archers are going to be tough. And, oh, that's going to be a lot of damage. But I think we're going to be okay. Oh! Wow, that's a horrible matchup. I'm going to Knight in the pocket. And somehow, some way, we beat E-Giant with this deck. So, super well played. Probably could have done some things better, but a win is a win. Whew. See you in the next one. All right. Into our final match here. Going to see if we can get a nice little dub. Real chill. So they just played one of their best counters to the wall breakers. I think it's going to be minor poison. Most likely. Okay. I'll take this. They can play, okay. Knight like this. Minor. It might be minor rocket, actually. Sometimes when I see the Dark Prince and the minor together, minor rocket is a really popular deck. We'll keep that in mind. Not 100% sure on that, but like I said, it's possible. Yeah, it does look like it's minor. Minor rocket runs delivery. So we want to make sure that we don't give them rocket value. And it's going to be a battle to the end. This is a very chippy matchup. Oh, Dark Goblin live maybe? Ooh, they do. Okay, I have Princess ready here to log their skeletons if they choose to play it. That's going to be 2 shots. Okay. Nice. We just had the perfect cycle to defend that. And so far, so good. I would have been fine if they rocketed a Goblin Gang. Okay. Alright, we actually get a ton of damage on both sides. In general, in this matchup, you do want to go in the opposite lane, though. Okay. He does go for the log. I'm going to see if I can catch the skeletons here. Oh, that works, too. That's going to be 1. Oh, my gosh. We are just looking amazing right now. Evo Ice Spirit here. I'm not really threatened by. I'm fine if that connects to the tower. We're still in a really good spot. Like the only thing again, is we do not have a big spell. So do not underestimate Rocket Cycle and Triple Elixir. It's absolutely bonkers, and we can very much still lose this game. Especially against a good Rocket Cycle player. Which I don't know if they are, but... we just don't want to give too much log value. Okay, Evil Knight's going to tank, and he can't log both sides. Beautiful, beautiful. I thought about Goblin barreling in the lane that I already had damage, but I didn't want him to be able to get a free log. Okay, we need to continue to pressure here. Great log by him, actually. But now he doesn't have it for defense. Okay, well defended. We do get a little bit of chip. Keeping my princess alive. Okay. He has not started going for minor rockets yet. Might wait till Triple Elixir to do so. I'm not entirely sure. Split lane pressure here. Always the move with this deck. Nice. We burned the Evil Ice Spirit. Oh my gosh, and that's so much damage. We caught him in a bad cycle. We only need one more log to close out the game. We haven't even seen them go for the big spell yet, whatever that may be. Okay. Yeah, there it is. I knew it. I knew they had minor rocket. They just knew that if they went for it, they would have got punished very, very hard. So that's an awesome game. And wow, really, really happy with how we played. So important to identify that matchup early on. So good game to us. Well played. Wow, so we actually ended up getting 12 wins in a Classic Challenge. One of my losses was also with a different deck, so that just goes to show how good this deck is. A lot of people don't know how to play against it. There's so much outplay potential. So give this deck a try. Let me know how it works for you, and I'll see you in a video soon. Peace.